Well, this is the second part. In the podcast, probably it's gonna be the continuation, depending of where you are listening. And it's my 3x3 left, so I'm gonna go through the animes basically, from top left to right, and continue like that until the bottom. Yo-Yo Senki or Tanya the Evil, Bungo Stray Dogs, Oregairu, Break Blade, no Blade, Break Blade. Just, oh my god, Kuso no Honkai, sorry. Makia, because everyone cries with Makia. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Doro Hedoro, and Psychopass. Any comments before I proceed?
We all jump once there. Qays, you go first.
Oh no, I'm just very happy to see Oregairu get some mention. That I really like that series too.
I was just going to say that this probably has the most series that I'm not quite aware of. The bottom tier is something I know, like Full Metal Alchemist, Dorohedoro. I've watched both of those. Psychopaths I've heard of. I've heard good things of, and I obviously watched Makia with you guys. But the remaining 5 are all mysteries to me. I don't even Bungo Stray Dogs I've heard be talked about, but the remaining 5 are all like I didn't even know they existed until I saw your 3x3 Pabs. So I'm keen to hear more about them.
So I'll do. Well, I'm gonna start with an anime which I believe Qays is not really big fan of it, which is and I do that to say Attack on Titan, no. Yo-Yo Senki on Tanya the Evil. It's basically a isekai, because the blonde girl you see there, it's a businessman, literally. But it got killed, not by a truck, by a train. And
it's completely different from everything else.
Yeah, they changed it up this time.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you definitely are killed by a vehicle, but it depends of how you die. You go to a different worlds, I guess. I don't know. And this girl is in an alternative World War One and World War Two version, because it's more World War One, but they have like mixed technology. Not having in count they are called witches, which basically they can fly like a witch with a thingy they have in the leg, like a how it's called, a propulse.
Oh yeah, sort of propulsion system. I know.
Yeah, propulsion system. Yeah, and basically because it's the mind of a 40-year-old guy, so he's much intelligent than everyone else, and basically because he knows his history behind what is going on, despite this has its difference, it becomes a really high commander in between the lines. And I like more just the concept of we have witches mixing with World War II, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Now that you've explained it, I know exactly why Pabs like this, because I know you're a history buff and you're interested in that sort of thing. So if anime can mix, maybe not exact history, but its own version of it, there's something. I think there's a lot of bits and pieces in there for you to enjoy. So that's interesting. I don't know if it's my kind of thing, but I'm glad you let me know about it. That is new to me. I didn't think isekais got that varied, if you know what I mean. I thought it was usually boom, suddenly you're in a fantasy world and that's you. But this sounds a little bit more. It's different, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing that's interesting about it. Like most isekais put you into the JRPG kind of like system where you already know there's going to be like some magical element like fire, water, wind, earth. You're going to get one of those, or you're going to be overpowered in some way.
Yeah. And
then you got the harem and everything like that. Like,
yeah.
Then it's all exactly the same apart from one specific element which sets it apart. And yeah, this one is definitely good in the way that it is. I can't think of any other isekai where a guy's transported into little Hitler. I think that's what people on the internet call her, because she's pretty terrible.
She has, well, she or he, whatever you want to call it, has a really right far wing ideology.
Yeah.
But the ideology of the government of this Germany is more like World War One days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's authoritarian, but it's not social nationalist shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. This gives me hope for isekais. Being a person who, every time I hear the word isekai, I go, okay, cool. An anime I don't need to watch because I've watched a couple isekais, so I basically have watched them all. But this makes me go, maybe there are isekais out there that would be interesting to me because they're different, because they sing their own tune. So yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gives the opportunity for like more stories. I'm not against
definitely.
the idea of isekais.
No, exactly.
Like there's a load of ones like Vision of Escaflowne, which I really like. Some of the older isekais, which kind of didn't have the JRPG elements.
Yeah.
This one definitely fall into the ones of not JRPG elements, because those have become slightly stale.
Yeah.
For me at least. I mean, I think it's just chance that I just didn't really connect with this one. I mean, Pabs, definitely, you're the history buff. You're the military history buff specifically. Like, I can see why you love this and like why it just didn't really resonate with me as much. But yeah, it's good point that you made, Ben. Like the isekai, there are lots of more isekais. So when people say isekais have filled out everything, they filled out the JRPG genre.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of isekai kind of ideas.
Yeah.
Like, Good of Us Travels as an isekai essentially, right?
Yeah, but in the isekai,
another one I've not seen.
But in the isekai,
that's just a book.
Isekai is pretty much just an excuse to have a uber talented person because they are growing up from 0 to the actual age with the intellectual of a person of between 20 to 50 years old, depending on the isekai. So in this anime, if you could take off the elemental thing of isekai and just give this character an over talented person, because he's like one of the higher ranks between the lines, and she's like 10 years old or something like that by the time of war. So it's a good excuse to have an over talented person, but I would prefer just to say me, okay, this person is just over talented, like One Punch Man. Saitama is just he just get it, you know.
I see. Take us through. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, take us through Stray Dogs Bongo. Did I say it right?
Bongo Stray Dogs.
There you go. I
really there. But I just one more thing about Tanya the Evil, just because I like what you said just now, which was about like it's just an interesting thing to think about. Like, what would you do if you woke up and then you were born in like, it was just exactly the same world. You were born in your own body, but say you were a 5-year-old, you just became 5 again, but you had the current like thoughts that you have now and mental capacity. you would just smash the world.
I mean, you have the advantage of everything you experience, plus in theory your brain can get more stuff now because you are young, and when you are young you get stuff quickly than when you get older.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I get the point, but at the same time it's the same excuses. Like, they don't are even imaginative in the way they kill the character. Like, why this person cannot just die naturally or by a heart attack? No, it's always a pickle or some shit. Normally a truck.
Do you really mind? Because I know that it's literally and metaphorically a vehicle in order to get to a certain situation. Like, it's just a technique to get to create an excuse. I don't really mind the specifics.
I get the point, but the only reason why I like it is because the meme of, okay, I'm gonna go to Isekai, just gonna get crushed by a truck. But I don't know, they could use more variety.
True.
anyway, going to Bongo Stray Dogs, which is Durarara before I knew Durarara was a thing. Basically, the main guy, which is the one in the middle in the picture, is a tiger, and he doesn't know. This is not a major spoiler. This happened in the first episode, so if you watch the first episode, it tell you. And he gets into this detective agency, which they research for natural powers and help people, basically. And surprise, half of the people you see there are from the agency, and they are part from the mafia, and they have like a kind of a war between the mafia and this agency. It just happened too many things to explain. It's like Durarara. You have to actually watch it to get what is going on. There's too many characters. For me, the second season is the best, despite they take a direction totally different from the first and the third season, because they only focus half of it in only one character. And
so is it safe to call it is it a crime drama, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And you said it's set in the same... Is it set in the same world as Durarara?
No,
or is that
I think this is another totally different creator.
Okay.
So,
okay.
but it has the same feeling of a lot of characters, a lot of things going on.
Is that what specifically talks to you?
Yeah, because for me it's really important, the characters. And one thing Durarara and Bongo Stray Dogs does good is they don't just give you secondary characters just to fulfill a role. They actually give personality to them. Maybe.
I mean, I haven't seen Bongo Stray Dogs, but I can definitely verify that from my knowledge of Durarara. Every character in Durarara can be the main character, and I feel like everyone who's watched Durarara, at least, probably has a different favorite character and a different main character who they feel like is the main character of the story. So I'll probably love Bongo Stray Dogs too, if it's like that.
And now I'm also watching Bacano, which is in the same area. The creator didn't confirm it, but it's pretty much the same world of Durarara, but in the 20s, 30s in USA. So
Prohibition.
Yeah, it's related with alcohol prohibition and the mafias and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Going through.
I've heard it's a crazy but a great show.
Oh yeah. I watched only 3 episodes. I'm a little bit more lost than what happened in Durarara, because because until you start linking stuff, it could pass 10 episodes. Like, oh, okay, this links to the thing that happened in the first one. And
now that's you make a point that I usually ask myself when it comes to these sorts of things. So anime, because I choose to watch with subtitles, it's a lot easier for me to watch a dumb anime, if you know what I mean. Not a dumb anime, but one that I can watch and it can almost happen to me rather than me have to absorb it too hard. So is Bungo...
Black Clover.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I love Black Clover, but yeah, I hit
smash. Exactly. I have the blunt, big sword. If you've got a big sword, you know where you're at. But anime like this one, Stray Dogs or Bungo, because I'm still not sure which one to say first, so I'm going to just say one half of the title, and that way I can never be wrong. Is this the kind of title you really have to concentrate on to really understand everything that's going on at once, especially considering there's subtitles and you have to? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Is it like it's a lot of mental strength going on here in order to keep up with everything that's happening. Otherwise, you won't be as rewarded.
I think 80% of the enjoyment of these shows, you have to pay attention to them.
Okay.
I know Durara is all about the links of how each character links to each other, and I'd imagine it's similar to that, and just like discovering about like 12 episodes later, like that this linked to this and this episode, and this happened. Like you can find out what happened retrospectively, possibly.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, Bungo Stray Dogs is a lighter version, so for me it was easier to keep up what was going on in Bungo Stray Dogs. But at the same time, for me, it was more rewarding in Durarara because like, oh wow, I actually intelligent and I can keep up with this. So
this brings up an interesting because we mentioned Durara and Bungo Stray Dogs a lot in comparison. Like, why do you prefer Bungo Stray Dogs? What about it is more appealing to you?
Not gonna lie, if I have to choose right now, I will choose both. Like I cannot choose. I because the higher point in Bungo Stray Dogs is a little bit higher than in Durarara. But because Durarara is constantly high, it's more constant for me. So I don't know if I explained myself properly with that.
Oh.
No, you did, but you can't choose both. That's an oxymoron, Pad. You're defeating the point of choosing. Just pointing that out to you.
That's why I didn't change it. I just leave it like it was, and I don't choose.
Slave master Ben, like. Choose one.
Choose. Life is full of hard choices. Anime doesn't need to be one of the hardest.
Any other question about Bungo Stray Dogs?
I'm actually just. There's one thing I heard about it. I don't know if it's true, but are all the characters writers in Bungo Stray Dogs?
Yeah. They are based the names, or they have a reference to a writer.
I have heard of this, yeah. So things like Dostoevsky get thrown in there and stuff.
Is Dostoevsky in there?
But for me, it didn't mean nothing because I don't know 95% of the writers. So
does he commit a crime? Does he get punished?
Clearly, you know more about Dostoevsky than I do.
No idea. I don't even remember the names of the characters. I mean, it happens to me with all animes. I really have to like one specific character to remember that specific name.
But I definitely want to know a few more of the writers. That'll be really interesting. But one thing that I quite like about anime is that you find out loads of random, because I don't know why, but in anime they love just tying in random names to characters and stuff. And you just find out loads about, like, I think we mentioned it before, like Japanese folklore because of the name of a character, or random tales, even from like my own like stuff. Like I remember in Fate they had King Arthur.
Yeah.
Watching Fate got me more interested in King Arthur, so I actually find out about English like more and other things. Like I think we talk about El Cid or Sid, Fid.
I remember.
Found out about him from anime or like JRPGs. It's just quite cool. Like Japanese mythology, I found out all through Naruto, Amaterasu.
Exactly, yeah.
Like anything that gives you an opportunity to find out more about something is good in my book.
So let's see. I'm bringing up characters. No, go on. Sorry, Pabs. Go ahead.
No, it's alright. My brain is just a huge plane of, okay, I like this. I want to watch this. I don't care about the rest. So that's why I didn't research anything related to the writers which appear in Bungo Stray Dogs.
I'm wondering if it like affects their personalities and stuff, because I'm sure when you're writing a character with the name of the writer, they must be thinking like, oh, would Dostoevsky being this kind of personality? Or you said they have powers. Do their powers relate to that? I'm sure there's like some cool kind of,
maybe
like,
they are related,
things in there.
but most of them have power. Not all of the characters do have, but there is one who is self-proclaimed like the best detective because he can figure out what the assassin crime scene. Everything happened, and it's not a joke. This happened a few times during the anime, and the reveal is not just not a power. It's just he's really fucking good at it.
Okay. I always like those characters who don't actually have powers but are just really good anyway.
Yeah,
Who,
yeah,
still
definitely.
can like go toe to toe with the people who have powers.
He's actually one of my favorite characters from August Stray Dog because he's also kind of cocky, cocky personality all the time. So. Oregairu. How
Onegairu.
how do I summarize this? It's weird. The relation they have is weird. It's a romance comedy anime, as the
Okay.
full name of the anime says, but I don't remember, so I just gotta say in the full name, comedy is a word of all those words. Because Japan loves to give huge sentence for a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Achiman, which is the only name I remember, is the guy. And there is two people more in the same club, and they are... It's not a secret, they are in love of him. But the joke is he's super antisocial. He basically hates to have any relations. And most of the relations he is involved is pretty much involved because the situation forced to be involved, not because he wants to be involved. And it happens, and you know the funniest thing is a small spoiler that happened in the first season is there is a fanboy in his class, and ironically he only reacts to him, like actually he get a how is called he got shy with him because he actually finds him attractive despite after that happens more stuff. But it's ironic, he has two girls behind him and he only reacts with the guy.
That says something about sexuality, I guess. You either exude it or you don't, and it doesn't matter what gender you are. It's just, this is a handsome fellow.
Well, I will say beautiful more than handsome, but yeah.
It's only recently that we've stopped using the word handsome to refer to women. It was quite often used in description of women of particularly nice appearance. So, yes, she is quite handsome. You don't say it anymore, but these words were interchangeable.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I always thought handsome was for guys and beautiful for girls, pretty much.
I've just watched way too many period dramas. You can blame my mum for that, but it's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. So just yeah. But carry on. Tell us more. Why is it in your top three? Not top three. Why is it in your 3x3?
Mm-hmm.
Because I cannot feel identified with the guy, basically. because the way it tells you the history, it's kind of weird. Like, if you think in Mogo Stray Dogs or Durara, you have to pay attention of what the fuck is going on. This one is in another level. Because they don't say things directly until the third season. But the first and the second season is it. Try to guess this sentence. It seems like from a poem book, which it makes sense, but you actually have to actually think about them.
Yeah.
In the way they say things.
I completely agree with you there. It's like every single they never say anything. Even at the end of it's still not said like directly. It's still like in their own way of like really kind of like convoluted messages. I remember like season 2 was probably my favorite season just because there were so many points in it where I kind of got what was going on in the episode, but like there's so many layers and levels to what was going in their relationship dynamics and their friendship dynamics and everything to do with it that like I had to properly go into like not reviews but like blogs that people have written about each episode.
Really?
Whole nuances of like what one character meant and expected from one character to do and like how that relates to the whole friendship dynamics, and like there's a lot going on and it's really interesting and like really applicable because I think a lot of relationship shows kind of show just like a two-person relationship in terms of like even if there's like a triangle or like a pentagon, it's still relationships between each two people, and like what goes well and certain stuff like that. But in here, they really go into the whole idea of society and how one action or could have consequences for everyone in the social group. And like I think other shows show it, but don't go to the levels that Origairu.
And also they do it in a really weird way. That's why it catches my eye, because they are explaining you these things, these topics, in a unique way. Have you seen the rap battle?
Oh my god, I love it.
There's a rap battle in an anime? You have my attention now.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's in the third season, I think.
Yes, it's the third season.
It's a guy, which I already hate. The first time he appeared, basically because they want to organize something between two schools, and this guy who have the rap battle against Hachima, which is the guy in the picture, are planning, and actually Hachima wants to give solutions, but every time he gave a solution, this guy said like, oh no, we have to consider more stuff, blah blah blah, and in the end they didn't get anything from it. They were just talking for hours and they don't actually organize nothing. So that's why I hate it. And also he speaks with a lot of hand movements, but really forced hand movement. It's not natural hand movement. Actually, it's like you actually seen him. I like he's actually thinking the movement he's doing with hands when speaking.
I think they can refer to him as a ishiki takaike kind of person, which is like, I think in Japanese it means like a highly motivated person. I don't speak Japanese properly in any way, so this is just from like looking stuff up.
Sure.
But I think it's someone who's like highly motivated, and I think it's for college grads kind of thing, of like when they go to the workplace or stuff like that, and like they're trying to like learn all of these like English terms and katakana terms and business slang, and like use all of these like terms and with the hand wavy movements, and like try to act more than other people. And if you know the kind of thing, like kind of knows like
I know because I watched the anime, and pretty much you're describing him. And when I watch it, like, I hate you. I don't know why, but I hate you. And I think the characters are just good in general. They have all weakness and strengths. Because at the beginning, you see Hachiman, the only one having weakness. But in the end of the anime, you see probably he's the less weak of everyone in the group.
That's a really interesting way of thinking. I wasn't thinking about it like that. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the beginning they saw you. I just forget the names. I'm sorry. I will put pictures, I guess.
Yuiga Hamayui?
The dark haired girl. She's so serious, so at the point and everything. But they are showing you through the time. Like, actually, she's not as serious. She's not as professional, for saying some term. How is called the girl? The red hair one?
Yui.
Which at the beginning she's super happy. She's super straightforward. She's always giving a good mood to the group. And things happens. And I'm not gonna say what, but I cried.
I cried too.
So Qays,
Yui is my favorite.
Qays and me, we know why we cry.
Yeah. I have no idea why these tears are being shed, but maybe I should find out. You're kind of convincing me. I'm more intrigued by Bungo Stray Dogs. Did I get it right this time? Is it Bungo Stray Dogs or is it Stray Dogs Bungo?
Bungo Stray
You're
Dogs.
not going to tell me, are you? Okay. Oh, good. All right, good.
It's one
I thought you were going to leave me hanging. One of them.
Keep guessing. But yeah, this has got no superpowers. It's nothing like that.
It's
It's
just
social dynamics at its finest. And I think I think a lot of people that are here who like it really resonated with like the main character,
Mhm,
Hachiman,
mhm.
and he's the main guy. I personally did it because he has that really strong kind of philosophy of like solitary life is the best. You don't need any other people in your life. You don't need relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
So like for me, like this whole thing is all about relationships and why relationships are important. Social relationships, familial relationships, romantic relationships, and it just goes into everything. And like
and
I
as
like
you,
it.
as
If
you,
yeah.
and as you notice, a lot of animes I have here it's about relationships in some way or
Oh,
another.
yes, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, I can't wait to go into more.
Well, talking about
But
relationships, the next one doesn't have any relationships.
it's the one exception that proves the rule. It's a no relationship show.
The only
Relationships
reason,
not
the only reason why this anime, which is Break Blade, is here, it's the world building. The characters are normally for me 90% of an anime is the characters, and this is the only one from these ones which is breaking the rule. There is a couple like, okay, this is a good character, but even the good characters here are flat in comparison with Bungo Stray Dogs or Turarara or Egairu, etc. And the summary of this is in this world people have magic and they can use like diamonds to control mechs. And the ammunition they use are black diamonds, which the lore explains like is just hardened diamond, which is more effective for ammunition. And the main character cannot use the powers because it's useless in that point. And they find an old mech from 1,000 years ago, which doesn't use magic. And guess who is the only one person can control that mech? So Qays, you tell me Gurren Lagann, I tell you Break Blade. Sorry. Not gonna lie, Gurren Lagann have more personality, the characters, but the world building in Break Blade, it's more my affinity.
I see where you're coming from.
Gurren Lagann isn't a mech show, and it's not. It's about world breaking rather than world building.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I get. I do. I'm interested. But tell me more about the mechs and the world building.
So basically, there's two countries getting in war, and the country of the main characters is quite small and weak in comparison with the other one. So they have these mechs and are really old and outdated. But this one they found is super strong. It uses rudimentary weapon but are way better. But because the diamonds they launch with the magic, you have to use magic to launch them. So the mech they found, he can launch any diamonds because he doesn't use this magic. So it's basically a berserker. The design of the mechs are the way I like, are more realistic, quote unquote. Is Gundam like, but if a medieval modern era of time are producing these mechs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like if nowadays someone produces mechs, it's like if someone started to produce mechs 100 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I like how you used quote unquote realistic mechs. I like that a lot. That's a very apt way of putting it, I think.
Yeah, because if you actually research, the mechs will be useless in real life.
Yeah, they're not the most combat ready of creations, are they? There's just we know it. I don't care. I still think mechs are cool.
Me neither. I mean, they are. That's why I love Breakblade, because they are cool. That's it. No more. From which anime is that one?
That's Escaflowne. Yeah, that's the mech from. That's Escaflowne from Escaflowne.
Okay.
So yeah, I just posted Escaflowne, the Guy Mella for the mech from Escaflowne, and I thought when you were talking about like a mech that was designed like in medieval times,
Yeah.
that's exactly what kind of came to my mind. Is that somewhat similar to the Break Blade?
It's a more like modern style, but it's something in between. It's something in between this and Code Geass mechs.
Okay.
I did like the Code Geass mechs as well.
So it has like more old stylish stuff, but at the same time you can see more modern into it, but because they use like unique weapons as well. It's just different. That's the only reason why it's here. It's in reality it's just a 6 or 7 anime, but I like it because the mechs looks cool and because they show you the conflict between countries, and I like that shit. It's like, okay, this has to be here.
That's Pabs. That's what I like to see. Like, this is a 7 anime, but I love it.
Yeah. It is 7 at best.
I love it.
Oh, and by the way, the final fight 10.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So the final fight is oof. It's you don't even need to watch the rest of the anime. You just watch the final fight. But of course, if you watch it, you have more. You have more context. It's like, okay, you actually have more feelings about what is going on. But returning back to characters, Kuso no Honkai.
One quick thing.
Oh yeah.
When you're talking about mech fights, when I think of a show which I don't necessarily care about the emotions, but I do like it. But just pure quality mech fights. This is kind of laughable, but Gundam Build Fighters. Have either of you seen or heard of it?
I no. See, now Gundam is something I've not as a mech fan. I stray away from Gundam mostly, but Gundam Build Fighters is not something I'm aware of. Take me through it. I'm intrigued.
Oh no, I'm very embarrassed now because you're an actual proper mech fan. So me talking about Gundam Build Fighters is probably like blasphemy.
Oh no, I do know this anime. Yeah, this is kind of like.
It's basically they want to sell toys. They want to sell Gunpla toys, like the Gundam model kits. Like, how can we make them really cool? And what they created was this show where they get these main characters to build the Gundam toys. They put them in a ring.
Oh, I know which anime you're talking about.
Some, like CGI, not CGI, but like some kind of like, digital kind of like game kind of thing where they can operate the Gundam as if they were real life and get them to battle each other, like toys battling each other. The premise is meh, but the actual Gundam fights are some of the best mech battles I've seen. Like, I don't know how they created this top tier like action show from these like toy Gundam battles, but like give a go. I think they're like some of the fights. Like, there's one fight between the main characters and this Italian Gundam fighter, and it's insane. It's a brilliant fight. Like, if you think that Gundam Build Fighters is a tacky show with no like proper like oomph behind it, just watch that one clip and just think what you want to think.
The way you've explained it to me makes sense. I mean, in every other context, mechs shouldn't work, really. We've just said so, like, militaristically, combatively, they're clunky, they don't work. But then, in the premise of, I'm gonna make a model and make it fight according to my imagination or video game, that makes sense. So I could see why this show exists, and I could see why, as a conduit for those really exciting fights, it would work. I guess it just, I don't know. I had a time and a place in my life when I was really into Beyblades and so on. So I've lived that part of my life. I don't know if I need to revisit it. So I will probably do what you've prescribed, look up a couple of clips, but not get invested in I'm a kid and I'm going to be the champion at this one thing that is pretend robot battles. But yeah, no, I'm keen to look it up.
That's what you say, but 2 videos later, 3 videos later, 4 videos later.
You don't know me, Qays. You don't know me.
Only one more But the reason why I like Breakblade and I don't like Gurren Lagann is because the fights are not over the top. They are trying to be, as I said before, realistic.
It's a very big difference.
Yeah.
But as we just disagreed, Gundam Build Fighters is the most realistic mech show, so I think you might like that one more.
It's strange. It is, yet it isn't. What a conundrum.
Anything else about Breakblade?
Nah, take us through the heart of your 3x3. The melancholy-looking girl surrounded by string. What's happening here?
A really realistic story of a really bad romance going on, because basically there's 2 teachers and 2 students. So
yeah,
it's this girl of the image is in love with a teacher, and the other boy, which they have relation, the other boy which is a student with this girl, and they basically they are fuck friends.
Okay, good.
But they are in love with the teachers. So she's in love with the teacher, and the other guy is in love with the other teacher. But the woman teacher, and it shows in the anime, is basically a bitch, and she fucks everyone. And it's not a joke. This they tell you like in the 2nd episode or something like that. But these guys are still in love. So a lot of good things happens, and basically I don't know how to explain it, because if I say anything, it's gonna be spoilers.
Yeah.
It's just a really messed up relationship. It won't work for the main reason is a student teacher 95% of the times doesn't work.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was not expecting something like this. It sounds quite... I mean, you get dark anime, but you mostly get grim dark. This doesn't sound dark. This just sounds heavy. It sounds like there's a lot to unpack for the characters and what they go through. So I'm intrigued. What did you say it was called?
Kuso no Honkai. I'll send the name later.
Yeah, no worries. Kuso no Honkai. I'm intrigued.
I think it's only 12 episodes, if I recall.
You were speaking my language. Love me a good 12 episode series.
And actually they explain you pretty much what happens in the whole history between them.
Why is it in your 3x3? That's my curiosity. What about it strikes you?
Because it's brutally realistic, and I see this happening more than once around the world. Because a lot of stories like Oregairu is like, this is not gonna happen ever in real life. People just don't act like that. Even if you are like in a I don't know, poetry club, even inside that poetry club, it's not gonna happen. So this one is just 2 students and 2 teachers, which they have conflicted feelings between them, and they sometimes you don't just get what you want. It's just life. Pretty much.
Okay, I'm sold.
So I cannot talk much, because if I talk about it, I will spoiler the main things, and I don't want to do that, because if I do it, it's basically breaking the core of the anime.
You have to feel it as you go along.
Yeah.
Have the hopes for what you hope happens, and be let down when maybe it doesn't happen, or something completely unexpected happens.
So in summary, the characters don't get what they want in general, or at least not in the way they want.
I like this because you're right. A lot of other anime romances are very kind of I don't know what to say, idealistic.
Yeah.
And like generally, I think a lot of romance dramas in general pretty idealistic. So it's good to see kind of like
This is
the
more
darker, heavier side.
more like a romance is an romance. I don't know if that even exists.
Anti-romance.
Anti-romance. I don't know. I just took Spanish word. I'm easy with English words, and that's what you get.
You've coined a new term, it's romance.
Yeah. Now it's
I
gonna
mean,
be.
that is- Gosh.
Now it's gonna be a new genre in anime. Anything you want to? I didn't explain much about this anime because I think it's totally worth to watch. It's another different take to romance, but it's difficult to explain.
What I will, yeah, go on, Qays. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna think. What did you learn from it? Like, is there any like life lessons that you got from it? Because I feel like some of these kind of like heavy shows, you kind of like reevaluate like moments that you've had in your life or thoughts that you've had. And
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the main message of this anime is, even if you fight for what you won't get it, which pretty much that what happens. And even if the truth is how to say it? The truth is harsh to go through, it just will happen, and that is the truth, and it's not gonna change even if you don't agree with that.
And I have a question: like, is it a positive spin on that or a negative spin on that? Because there's a thing like, oh, the truth is a truth no matter how much you want it not to be, and like even no matter how much you try hard to get something, you might not get it. Like there could be positives in that. Like it's like you might try hard to get something and not get it, but that's okay because you can be satisfied with other things. You might find other things in your life.
Yeah, I mean,
does it say?
I didn't say it was for negative. It's just basically it's trying to explain you what is life is like. You don't always get what you want, but you get different stuff.
Coming to terms with satisfaction of what you do have in life, I guess.
Yeah. Because you don't know what you have until you lose it. So.
Yeah, fair.
Especially in COVID right now, it's like
there's
a lot of
Jesus
things
Christ.
that you lose opportunities for. Like a lot of things that you wish you could have, but you can't in this situation. So yeah, you have to be satisfied with your confines of your walls and the relationships that you've got.
You speak 'em truth.
The truth is there, whether you like it or not. That's Pabs put.
And now I'm gonna prepare my box of tissues to cry again, just to look at this picture.
My tissue's out ready too.
Come on, guys. Like, I like Makia as much as anybody else, and I genuinely was very emotional during watching it, but I'm over it now. Come on.
You don't like Maki as much as everyone else, apparently.
No, I don't. I think it was very good, but I guess there's a reason it's not on my 3x3 and it's on Pabs. That's all I'll say. Carry on.
To get an idea, when I watched Makia, in the cup of Makia, it was golden time, and I put Makia instead. So, it's one of the 10 of 10 I have in my anime list.
Wow. I really disagree with you, but okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, shots fired.
I'd give it an 8.
But,
I was impressed with it, but I would give it an 8. Carry on, Pabs.
But you know,
joking.
You know the other thing? In this 3x3, that is only 10 out of 10 I have in it.
Yeah.
We've got 6 10 out of 10s, but this is the only 10 out of 10 you put in your 3x.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sensing another 3x3 coming. After we finish, I want to know what the other 10s are.
We can talk about my anime list top 10s or something like that. We have.
If we ever do a comparison of each other's 3x3s, and the only things allowed in the 3x3 is as your 10 out of 10s, all I would have to provide is one big white square, because the grading system is just not something I implement when it comes to any sort of anime I watch, because over years the grading changes in your heart and mind. So I guess I let it be free and I revisit it every now and then. But I digress because I feel like I want to know why you think Maki is 10 out of 10. Pabs. I need to know. I'm struggling, grinding my teeth here.
Even if I say this at 10, I see flaws on it, but because all the good things are so good, I don't care about the flaws.
Yes, I agree with you there a lot.
I feel that. That's my philosophy and rating as well.
So, why Makia is a 10? They took a point of view of being a mother, and they don't just took one point of view through the film. You see a lot of point of view of different mothers. Of course, not as in depth as with Makia, because of course he's the main character. But she treats this kid as its own, more than probably a lot of biological family. And
I see what
and she doesn't understand what a mother is, despite she's gonna live for 100 years more, because spoiler, they don't say it's a elf, but it's pretty much an elf without the long ears. And it's just too long to say everything of Makia, and basically it's a really emotional relationship between a mother and a son. And for me it's a 10 because they put political stuff in the background, which is really important for the history, despite it doesn't look like.
Okay, so see now the political stuff, the political context within the film is it's what was it? It's not the best, I think. I mean, it fits the purposes necessary in order to move the story along, like why the main character does what she does, why she takes it, why she is a mother and so on. But it's I don't know, it's very shallow sort of political, like it's never stressed, which is actually good, I guess, as well, because then for people like yourselves, you get to really theory craft and put together your own ideas on what's actually happening in this greater world of Makia. And I suppose it leaves a lot of room for more stories to be told in the same world, which I'd be really intrigued to see. If they ever did a Makia 2 that just isn't called Makia 2, it's maybe named somebody else.
But in the same world, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I would be intrigued to read and or watch that, very much so. Only because, and what I hope they would do is they would flesh out what they've started rather than keep it being vague. Because there's a level of vagueness which is great because it means there's more to come, or there's a level of vagueness that continues that just makes you go, oh, nothing is actually ever going to happen. They're never going to clarify these things. But no, I see. Okay. I could see why you would give it a 10 because of that now. Before I didn't, now I do.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh no, there's a few things I want to say. There's so many things I like about Makia. But I remember talking to you before about the military thing, because the military thing was not my favorite point in Makia. The relationship as the mum and the son, thing. But I remember talking to you about the kind of like mutually assured destruction kind of thing. With actually, it's not mutually assured destruction because only one side has the weapons in Makia. But the kind of the tenuous grasp that they have over the weapons makes it a very interesting political scenario, especially with the changing times. And I remember talking to you about that, and you liked that before.
I mean, of course, that is not the main focus, and for me, it maybe if it wasn't for that, instead of a 10, it would be a 9 for me. But because and also I like they don't go in depth on it, because that is not the main focus of the history. The history is the relationship between the mother and the son. That's it. It's just going through the best points of their lives and the worst ones together or separate, but worry of what is going on with the other person, because in a lot of parts of Makia they are separate, they are not together, and spoiler, if you're listening, skip 30 seconds. It's the fucking son fault because they are not together most of the time.
Yeah.
And I kinda get the point of view of him, like to don't accept what is going on. But at the same time, she raised you, and at least you should appreciate a little bit more what at least she's trying to do for you. Which he does, but too low, too late.
Yeah.
I think that's how sons can be, you know? Sons don't always appreciate their mothers as much as they should be.
And that's why I like the tech in the film, because it's the realistic point of view and not the ideal one.
The classic figure of the mum kind of like trying to do what's best for the son, but you know, the son just like doesn't call her every week or stuff like that. And,
We don't need this. You make me feel
I'm gonna
guilty.
guilt shame all of your sons and daughters out there. But
You're the real evil in the world, Qays.
but yeah, I can tell you, as soon as I finished Makia, I called my mum. Like that, it just made me like think, you know, my mum's great. Like she did some great stuff raising me. I should thank her a bit more. And yeah, that's why Makia is a 10 out of 10 for me. It made me feel those feelings of like, you know, care for your family kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
And another thing for me is I think we mentioned in Wolf Children, I love those kind of like parent bonds or like those kind of films as well. Like, and yeah, it could be from Split Family as well. Like those moments where it's not a big spoiler, but like Makio and the son were kind of going through difficult, this young child with the mom and all of those kind of things. I mean, there's a point I think where Makio was really finding it hard to get a job, and the son was not helping things because he was very young and kind of getting in the way, but not knowing what he was doing wrong.
Yeah,
all those kind of things. Like they're just scenarios that can happen, and it must be tough being like a single mum looking after a kid. And so just like those bits really spoke to me as well. And so yeah, it's a good film.
Well, any more questions about Magia? Well, for you guys, you watch it. We watch it together. So I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loved it.
All right. So, the favorite anime of Gigak, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Because if I don't say it, they're gonna explode.
We all love trash taste. So.
Yeah, as we say every time we talk about anime.
There's always going to be a callback to Trash Taste.
Technically, this is still the episode 1 for us, because the first one was episode 0, because we didn't know
Correct.
what to do, and this one is gonna get into 2 if this keep going, getting this long, because we already 1 hour in, and I a little bit over half of my 3x3.
As it should be.
So, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Why it is here? Really good characters, and the creator respect the characters and what they do in the story. I don't wanna play pretty much anything, because this is one of the most famous animes. If you know any anime, Full Metal Alchemist is one of the first it popping in your mind. Mustang, which is the one who snaps and fires come from his hands. See, when I like a character, I remember the name, and also and also I remember the name because it's super American.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And how's called the main guy? Elric?
Yeah, Edward Elric. I don't think you liked him as much, did you?
I don't like it in most of the anime, but the last, I don't know, 10 episodes, it changed a lot, the way he acts and the things he does. And can we talk about the country is a fucking circle? it makes sense in the history. If you watch it, you know why the country has that shape. But
Yeah.
it looks like a joke when they show you the map. It's like, dude, please. And when
for myself as a reminder, and for those at home, what does it actually look like?
it's pretty much a circle, the country.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that can happen. That's like Pangea, isn't it?
I mean, it can happen, but do you know how weird it is to have because the only reason why there is square shapes, for example, in the wall is because people just draw a line in the map. It's like, okay, this is the country now. We just conquer. Yeah.
This Pabs, the military history expert and like, flags and geography expert coming out.
So I'm gonna stop talking about that, because if not, the next hour I'm just gonna talk about countries in real life, and we are talking about anime. And another things I like, world building. Pretty much the country of them is based in Germany, not in the 40s. It's more based in the early 10s, 20s.
Mm-hmm.
In the way they act, and it's even a tank. It appears in the last episodes, I believe. Is it in the fortress? And in the last episode, it appears as well when they have the final fight.
Okay.
I like the I don't know how to say in English. Sorry, the exchange of materia they do, like the
Exchange.
yeah, the magic system they have. It's one of the hardest, because you know what is soft and hard magic systems.
Yeah.
Maybe explain for people who don't.
So soft magic system is you have magic and you don't follow any rules, or you follow really big rules about it.
Yeah.
In the other hand, hard magic system is you follow our rules most of the time, and even if something doesn't make sense, it will explain you, or it makes some sense based on the rules it has. And in this case, probably it's the most hard magic system I ever watched or seen in general, not counting only anime, in general.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I'd be intrigued to play a sort of role-playing game based in the setting of Full Metal Alchemist from a storytelling and descriptive point of view, because like you say, it's very solid, very hard magic system. But go on.
And if you think about it, it's just real life, but added to a magic system, because you cannot create nothing in this anime if you don't have the materials for it. And that is basically how the materials in real life works. It's just like you cannot destroy them, you only can transform them. So for example, if you burn a wood, you're not destroying the wood. The wood is burning into the oxygen. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The word in English, for fuck's sake. The opposite of oxygen.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Or carbon
So
monoxide.
it doesn't disappear. It just transforms into something else. And that's why I like about Fullmetal Alchemist is they give you context for what is going on.
I think Full Metal Alchemist is an excellent thing to be on anyone's 3x3, really, and I think it's fashionable to sort of dump on Full Metal Alchemist a little bit these days, just because it is very popular and everybody knows about it. But I would argue that among some of the more well-known series out there, I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to reread all of Naruto, but I would gladly reread all of Full Metal Alchemist, because I feel like it's a very contained story. It has a beginning and an end, even though it was serialized. And I think the story itself, while being a Japanese creation, is quite universal as well. So I think Full Metal Alchemist will stand the test of time quite well as a story to be read over and over as well. So yeah, no, solid choice. I think I really like Full Metal Alchemist. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah,
It's,
nothing more to add. It's a solid show.
it's the most normie option of my 3x3 I chose.
That's it. Yeah.
Because if you don't know anything of anime, 80% sure at least you've seen Fullmetal Alchemist. Not watch it, just seen pictures of it.
And if you do have a friend who's trying to get into anime, or you'd love to recommend some stuff, I would say from a manga perspective at least, just because that's where my my allegiances lie so much, I would gladly and very easily say first manga ever, make it Full Metal Alchemist. Honestly, you'll have a good time and you'll lap it up the way anyone would lap up Game of Thrones. You'd be hankering for the next volume because of the way the story does unfold.
I'd agree with you. Apart from the openings are just so good for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
And if you want to make a favor to yourself, first watch Fullmetal Alchemist and after Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, because if you go the other way, you will cry.
Oh, you think watch the normal one first? The first one first?
Yeah, because the Fullmetal Alchemist normal without the Brotherhood is good, but Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is superior in every sense.
Then watch that one and just don't watch the other
one. Why put yourself through the pain?
But if you want to
say, just watch this 50-episode anime and then get to the good one. What?
Yeah, because if you want the same experience but better, you can do it twice.
Okay, I get you for that.
But instead of going from the best to the worst one, go to the worst to the best. But if you want to watch only one, watch Brotherhood. It's better.
I see where you're coming from, but it's I don't know. It's like I'm trying to think of a good example, a good analogy here. It's like
it's like saying watch it on like a really bad quality fuzzy kind of like a video player, watch it in high quality.
Yes, that's exactly.
No. Why would you do that?
No.
Watch it in high quality definition.
But the story is not the same. It's the same.
Yeah, it's practically the same, except the Brotherhood's better and it has a better ending because it follows the manga. Like
halfway, it doesn't resembles anything of the things happens in Brotherhood. It has the same concept, but they put it in very different ways, or at least what I remember. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched it, so I could be wrong. But anyway, if you have to pick one, Brotherhood, or the manga, which is basically the same.
I agree with that.
So, any question about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Not question. Well, has anyone here seen or read Silver Spoon, the next work by the same?
Nope.
Is Silver Spoon the same person?
Yeah. Wait, I think it is. Maybe it's. Is it Silver Spoon? I think it's called Silver Spoon. It's a farming manga.
Yeah.
What?
Same person.
I never heard
That's just
about
a
it.
slice of life one, right?
Yeah, but you see, because the creator actually grew up on a farm, it's why the avatar is a little cow person in the manga and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I just seeing a 3x3.
Blown my mind. I was like,
really? Yeah.
Never knew that.
Occasionally, sometimes I shine. I was just going to say, just because we saw Full Metal Alchemist here, it reminded me that Silver Spoon exists and that I really want to get onto it. And it's a Sunday today when we're recording. So I think, you know what? Because the week ahead is going to be really hard and tiresome, I'm going to watch some Slice of Life Silver Spoon tonight to make me feel better.
Yeah. I've just started watching Sierra and Experience Lane. So
oh, God.
I can't exactly say it's a Sunday night. Let's just feel better, watch like a relaxing kind of Slice of Life show.
I am about to destroy this man's entire career.
Yeah.
Lane just comes in. I'm only 2 episodes in, but it's creepy. That's something.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched it, but it's one of the ones I really want to watch because I really like that kind of cyberpunk kind of stuff. It's not cyberpunk, but related with internet stuff, like
yes,
experimenting how is called the film? Deep Blue or something like that.
Perfect Blue.
Oh, Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
Deep Blue is the chess computer, wasn't it?
Oh, I think I know where you're coming
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
So that kind of things are, it's really weird concept, but they got it in point of at least what I could read about them.
Yeah. But anyway,
So
tangent.
Yeah.
more world building. Doro it's the worst city in the world. Period. Is nothing in real life is gonna look more disgusting than this city. And the wizards are basically chased because they produce like this dust, black dust, which contaminates the atmosphere, I believe. That is more or less how they explain it. And these guys, the crocodile, which I don't remember how it's called, and
It's a caiman.
Cayman, yeah.
so basically I said the complicated word instead of saying the easiest word to say the same animal, pretty much. Basically they chase these wizards because this caiman, if he put his fangs on the face of a person inside of his throat, it will appear the person who made this to this person, because technically this is a normal person, but they did this spell to him, and
Yeah.
if the person inside
I've watched it.
and the person
It's really weird thinking back
Yeah.
at it.
if the person inside his throat says you are not the one, it's basically saying the person you just do that is not the person who made the spell to him. It's a really weird concept. I just like the power of the wizards, which they are unique. One of the main villains literally produced mushrooms with his
Magic.
magic, yeah.
So the magic mushrooms.
And Avalil is one of the most millionaire people in the magic world, because there is two balls and the wizards get into the city through doors. So, and also it has one of the best waifus. Don't ask me. And Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Which, surprise, one of those is the one in the picture, and the other one is from the bad guys. How was called?
Noi.
No. That woman can crush you, and at the same time can health what it crush at the same time, because her power is to health you. I just like
So that's what you're looking for
yeah.
in a partner. Just crush me, then heal me. Crush me, then heal me.
I don't want to talk about my personal things, but pretty much that is a good summary of what I like.
You're really into your Kazuo Honka Scum's Wish stuff, aren't you?
Maybe.
I was gonna say all of these anime on this list so far are here for a psychological reason or for the world building aspect, but so far all you've told me is that Dorohedoro is there because the waifus, man. That's the reason why you consume Dorohedoro, is just to watch Noi in every episode as much as you can. I get it. I'm there for you, man. I completely agree with you. It's the same reason. Nah, there's more to it than that. But yeah.
I mean,
Noi's that.
I came here for the world building. I stay for Noi.
Yeah, came here for the world building, stayed for the ripped chicks.
Pretty much. We're talking about Noi, but I forget again the fucking name of her. The blonde
Nikaido?
Nikaido
Yeah.
is a little bit less stronger than Noi, but she could rip you off in two if she wants as well.
I love Nikaido just because she's cute. I don't know. It's not anime cute in the kawaii sense. I would never call her kawaii or anything, but she's cute. She's just, I don't know. If you were friends with her in real life, you'd be like, oh, like the sweetest, nicest person you could ever know.
And
Who also has
down to earth cuteness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I guess that means girl next door. Woo, but that sounds weird when you say it that way. But yeah, that's when you say it like that. That's the exact definition of it.
Yeah.
And also, it's one of the best CGIs I ever seen in an anime as well.
I have to admit, it is true. I almost forget that it's CGI a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It works well within the gritty confines that it sits, does Dorohedoro.
Yeah.
Talking about good CGIs, let's talk about X-Arm.
If you say so.
Is that another one of your 10 out of 10s that's not on here?
Yeah, but it's 10 out of 10 starting by then. Is because I don't remember the guy who reviews films on YouTube, but he doesn't have a scale from 0 to 10. He has a scale from -10 to 10. So X-Arm is -10. Is basically is that bad? It make it good.
So you love it.
Yeah, and I only watched the first episode. I still remember when we were watching it in a streaming in the Discord server, and for the first half minute it was pure black. It's like, oh wow, the animation is quite good actually.
It was worse than a screen.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As I said before, I came here for the world building, but I stay for now. So the story is good. It's just weird. Everything is weird in this anime. The walls are weird. The city they are living on is very shady. And the city of the wizards are like Victorian era like buildings.
Yeah.
If you tell me that UK is like, yeah, pretty much. So, and they have.
So the wizards live in Bristol in Dorohedoro.
Yeah, and I don't know the main. I'm not gonna say any comparison with real countries to the main city because anything I say it's gonna backfire me. So I'm gonna shut up. And also, one thing I really like about the wizards, they give a lot of cultural unique stuff of the way they form relationships, and if you watch it happens like in the last 3 episodes. Basically they have to sign like a contract with a demon.
Yes,
but it has its own things, like you don't have to be agreed with that. Daily they can just how it's called, is capture you, it has its hijack you.
They hijack it to say the signature of someone.
Yeah, basically forcing that person to sign the contract, and because it's every 4 or 5 years this thing, they cannot break the contract until it doesn't pass that time. So
it is very unique.
Yeah,
the world building is really like,
you know what,
thought out to be different.
You know what I'm thinking now, looking at my 3x3, I should have chose easiest animes to explain, because most of them are fucking hard to explain. We of course, if I want to spoiler them, it's gonna be so easy to spoiler them, but because they're so complicated to tell what they are about without saying anything, it's gonna break your experience. It's kinda hard. I don't know.
I feel like my animes were a lot simpler, like Gurren Lagann. Big robot gets bigger. Yours is like the whole magical system of the crocodile has to put someone's head in their mouth, and then the guy who's in their mouth looks at the person. Like, it's a lot more complicated.
Yeah. and that is only one small thing of the whole thing. So
true.
Anything you want to add about Dorohedoro?
covered the cool parts. No, I'm looking forward to if they ever release a volume 2. But I've read the whole thing. But hey, I'd love to see more of what was created, animated. Yeah, good show.
I think I'm gonna read the manga as well. I don't know how much far is the manga ahead of the anime.
Pretty far ahead.
Okay, so I will have a lot of content to go through.
Very much.
Alright, so Psycho-Pass, another really easy anime to explain because I don't know. I hate myself apparently. So in this world there is no judge. There is police, but they basically sentence your crimes with these guns, and from one number to another they can tell you it's not a criminal, so it won't shoot you. Between one number to another, it will get to a stun mode, and it's basically a taser gun. But if you overpass one number up to infinite, it goes to kill mode. It's not called kill mode, but it's basically it kills you, and it's not a bullet, it makes you explode literally. So the criminals who are between the numbers of the stun mode helps the police to fight dangerous criminals which are over the higher number. I don't know if I explain myself well, but basically there is three things. It can not do nothing. This gun, it can stun you or can kill you, depending on how dangerous the pistol thinks you are.
And then society is kind of shaped by those decisions of who is dangerous, who is not dangerous, who is like a criminal.
Yeah, because actually they introduce like this super intelligent IA. IA is the right AI, sorry. Which control this, and in theory is super accurate, but well, things happens and it's not that accurate.
Well, surprise, surprise, it turns out to have flaws. Who could have guessed?
And
I like it. It sounds like a Philip K. Dick type series, like in a Minority Report kind of flavor. Am I on the right course here?
Yes,
yeah,
very much so. I feel they even mentioned Philip K. Dick possibly.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm not sure. It could have been another kind of science fiction author. But I definitely make throwbacks too.
Nice.
And also this technology is only implemented in Japan. The rest of the world is in the old tradition of we arrest you and then we decide what we do with you. Because I think they were inside the anime, they were trying to implement it to another countries, but they weren't too kind with the idea of doing it. So pretty much that is the main concept. There is a lot of criminals they have to catch. Also, the reveal secrets about the system is very cyberpunk like ambient, because because also they show you in one of the main characters, the girl on the right is the main character next to the guy on the left. So on her room, a lot of things she has, like, it's not virtual reality, it's basically she can see things in holograms on her room and they are not there. The room is just half the shape of the things. You know what I mean? Like if there is a table, you can change the look of the table, but the real table is the same.
Okay.
Now, because they have this technology, they can do that. And also, they can find out people with high numbers, because every door have a sensor and it detects which number you are and you have. And that's why they can spot where the people where the criminals are. But also it has flaws, and sometimes they cannot spot where they are.
I'm intrigued by this. Yeah, I'd like a good bit of a quasi sci-fi. Is it like a procedural? If you know what I mean, is it like a procedural police drama sort of thing as well?
I think it's,
What do you mean by
yeah.
procedural? Because it's just general. It's one narrative of like a dystopian
Okay,
society.
but so like a procedural drama, you'd have every episode is dedicated to the solving or catching of a particular criminal.
No, it's not.
No.
So there's an overarching plot.
Yeah, maybe one case they are into. It can go through one episode, or it can go through 3 or 4.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
But it's a continuous history. It's not like every time is something different.
Yeah.
Not episodic.
Yeah. If you don't, well, then I guess you haven't watched it for your comment. Qays, have you watching Psychopaths?
No, certainly. It's great. It's a classic. It's up there with like Full Metal Alchemist, as I think.
Oh, really?
Shows to everyone. It's not as popular as Full Metal Alchemist, definitely, but for me, it fits the same build. At like, I think it's just a really solid show that I think a lot of people like.
Okay, I like solid.
And people who watch this anime, Ben, I'm gonna try to say it in the most delicate way to don't spoiler. But when you find out what controls the system, it blew my mind.
Oh, juicy. Okay, I will try to not spoil this for myself by looking up the synopsis on Wikipedia. Good. I'm glad you told me that.
And Qays, do you know or do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, most certainly.
Will it blow my mind?
Definitely. I mean, I think you could guess it when they are getting close to reveal that thing. But even when it reveal the thing, it's like, okay, this is so fucked up.
Oh, is it anything like phrenology, which was the now debunked science of seeing how much of a criminal a person is by measuring the shape and circumference of a person's skull?
I have heard of that. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything either, but I know what you mean.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
So after,
I'm actually curious about one. Oh, sorry. What were we going to say about?
No, I will say yes, after 1 hour and a half of broken English. Sorry for people who went through this.
No, you did good. I mean, and we just established that shows that are hardest to describe out of all of us, I think.
Hey,
you're into those deep shows.
Don't be too self-conscious. I mean, looking back on my 3x3, I kind of cringe at listening to myself because comparing my 3x3 to yours has been a lot more cerebral and calculated, and there's a lot of psychological aspects to the series you've mentioned. Mine are mostly, I think, of the flashier, colorful, animated variety, and pretty much in my 3x3, all I do is I describe things with whooshing sounds and bang, 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 and a bit of kind of thing. So you've actually used English where I was talking in gibberish. So fair play to you, man. Well done.
Same for me.
So shall we fade out? Shall we fade out into obscurity, or shall we cover a few more things?
I mean, one thing I was curious about is why did you only have one of your 10x10s on there? What were the other 10x10s, and why were they not on there? How did you choose your 3x3?
10 out of 10s or 10x10s?
Sorry, 10 out of 10s.
I'm
thinking too much 3x3s.
let me have a look my other 10, because there's another 5. So my animalist complete 10 out of 10. So 1 out of 10 out of 10 actually was removed by Makia, which is golden time.
Oh, so you actually removed Golden Time from a 10 out of 10 and pushed it down to like a 9.
No, it's a 10, but Makia got the spot of Golden Time when it was another 10 of a 10. Oh, I lied. There is more than... Okay. There is more than one 10 out of 10. I thought it was only Makia. So, Kusuno Honkai, I put a 10 as well. Only the film of Tanya the Evil is a 10, but the anime is a 9. Oregairu, for me, the 10 is the third season, while the first and the second are, if I don't remember, bad 8 or 9.
Okay.
The other two 10s are Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso or April Sly, because it was one of the first dramatic animes I watched, and I watched it when it was released every week. So, and
that's a while back. Yeah.
And the other one is a pure meme. This is not real a 10 out of 10, but I put it because for in my brain it's funny to have it. Is Gundam versus Hello Kitty.
Oh, that one is a classic. I'm surprised it's not in the middle. 3x3.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, you know.
If you're talking about realistic mech shows,
It's the most
Gundam versus
anime
Hello
that ever did anime.
I still remember the Hello Kitty. It's like, I just chilling watching the TV. Oh wait, there's a mecha fight through the TV. I'm gonna go there and kick their asses. Which is it's pretty much what happened.
Hello Kitty dealt with all of them.
She done told them to stop fighting, and they did stop fighting. And they hugged it out.
She was creepy, honestly. I was scared.
She
of her.
was. I know what you mean. There's a deadness in the eyes.
She would slaughter with no remorse.
She was looking through your soul.
At her collection.
So, have you done or watched anything this week? Because there is a gap between the first half of this episode and the second. So, if you want to talk about it.
I've mentioned it already a little bit. Yeah, I've been catching up with Fire Force. Sort of, I've finished season 1. Going to work on season 2 after a little bit of a break. I really enjoyed it. Pretty stylistic, which is my kind of thing. I am sad to admit, along with everybody else, that Tamaki is a waste of space as a character, and I'm really sad to see that because there's potential, and all she seems to be fit for is just losing her clothes for no apparent reason, which is a shame. But no, I'm enjoying it. I really enjoyed the first opening. I love that song, and I love the animatics that come with it. Less enthusiastic about the second opening. While still good, but it's a skip for me. It's the first season I will watch on repeat and feel like, yeah, I'm a firefighter too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the first opening was banger. It slaps, and yeah, you just, and the animation of it, like, I think just all the way through, like the animation is just the way they do the demonic fiery sequences.
I feel it just makes me feel like I too could save lives. That's what it makes me feel like.
It makes me feel like I could definitely not save lives.
What?
With all the fire there, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Just use your rocket feet like you have, because that's what like you have. It's weird. The song gives you rocket feet. This song, you know, Red Bull gives you wings. This song gives you rocket feet. That's it.
What about the fire powers? Because I really like the idea. Like, they've really gone all out. Like, every other series can use so many different types of powers to get creative, but they really have to push their brain to think of so many different ways of making fire into a cool and unique power.
I really like them, but I'm suspicious of the science behind a lot of it. I think it's really cool, but it's a stretch sometimes. But it's still really cool to watch.
What did you think of the end, then?
It is... Okay, so yeah, it goes into the realms of I don't know, time travel-y stuff, and I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, there's a physicist, an American physicist, lecturer for physics as well, who uses superheroes in his lectures to show just how impossible it is to do what superheroes do in physics. So, like, he explains that characters like the Flash can possibly exist because the moment you move at such a speed, all your internal organs and bones crush the moment you stop moving. So, just in the same way, I know that some of the things they do within the Fire Force universe, are just not possible whatsoever. But it's like talking about the hard versus soft magic systems. It's I know exactly what it's for, and it's for entertainment purposes only. So I don't think about it too hard. While I do really love the creativity that they come up with for all these different things, I guess I don't think about, the more I theory craft about what possible fire powers might exist out there, the more I start to second guess myself and say, wait, no, that wouldn't work because reasons. And then I'd be really upset when they come up with the fire powers that I've come up with, but they just don't give a shit about the science, which is where I stopped and they didn't. Do you know what I mean? There's a sense of disbelief that is required to be a creator, and I guess it just irks me that I refuse to suspend my disbelief, and that's probably what's stopping me from writing my own manga. I don't know.
I get that. Like, yeah, if you've already crossed it off for what you think is possible or reasonable, and then it comes up, that's a no.
Yeah, which is why I like Eiichiro Oda and the way he goes through like One Piece for different like fruit abilities and stuff like that, because it just is anything goes. And I mean, that's how he started with it. He said like, oh, I wanted the main character to have a really dumb superpower, and he ran with it.
True. Like, when you from the get-go say reason is not being used, you don't expect it. But when people try to like say, oh, this is because of this, and then plus physics, and it's like, no, this is not physics.
Yeah.
Physics is very different.
Physics. Yeah. You don't want it here.
Yeah.
So,
what about you guys? What have you been watching?
One comment about the soft hard magic system. For me, I don't know about you guys, but there is people like or are really into one magic system or the other. They don't have like they don't mind. Yeah. For me, it's just as long as it works. I don't mind if it's soft magic system or hard magic system. As long as
it's a bit of both for me. It's like, it depends on what I want to watch or what I want to read. So I really like hard magic systems for something deep and lengthy, like if it's a big long story and hard magic system works within the confines of that story. So for example, in Full Metal Alchemist, the fights aren't really fights, they're more like outmaneuvering each other. So that works for me, and there are times that there's a time and a place for when I enjoy that more. But then the soft magic system, it's more relaxed, like people just shoot fireballs because fireballs, and that can be equally enjoyed. I'm not a fan of one more than the other. I think it all depends on what I'm going to go in. I guess what I do not care for is when they mix the two, and you can do it, but you're gonna give yourself a hard job trying to keep the tone and speed of the story consistent, I guess.
Yeah.
So that is the summary of we have a hard magic system, but if the main character gets the power of friendship, we won't give a fuck about the magic system. So I say this because it's the most stereotypical thing happens in anime. But that could be something in between.
Take, but I like the power of friendship.
You like the power of friendship?
Yes.
I think it's
I like the power of friendship, but when you are not trying to give me the context of this magic system is hard,
Yeah.
If I
feel like some shows where you just throw all the logic away when it's trying to do something, and then it explains things away for. Definitely that's bad. But I feel like in general, what were you gonna say?
So that's why in One Piece until I watched it, because I watched like 200 episodes in total, but a long time ago, and I don't remember most of it. So Uh, I I like when it's not the power of friendship, like they do the comeback when they are getting destroyed and they for some fucking reason they are stronger than before. Like I don't care because you're not giving me a heart, my sister. You're just telling me, okay, he's just gonna do an epic comeback and that's gonna be it.
Yeah. The thing I dislike the most about that isn't that it happens, it's that it happens all the time now. So
Yeah.
Using Fire Force as an example, I don't know, there's just one episode where our main character Shinra is getting beaten, 12 kinds of shit out of him, and I still know he's gonna win, or I still know he's gonna come out on top, even though he's internally bleeding and on death's door. But anime has conditioned me to accept that that's the normal. That's the norm, and it just happens to everybody now. It's like I can't lose, not yet, and he doesn't, and that happens to every anime character. So it's almost, I don't know. Is there ever? Yeah. No, that's the only time where I feel like it's a bit of a letdown. Not because I think it can be used, but it shouldn't be so overused that we expect it every time now. So, we know this character's going to win. Actually, yeah, it's almost more common that the main character is going to win the fight by the amount of abuse he takes.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. The frequency of how it's used is annoying because then it cheapens it.
Yeah.
Because like the power of friendship for me is like a really important thing. It's really good when someone, like the idea of someone getting pushed by their relationships and making them go beyond things that they shouldn't be able to do normally and try that extra 10% is a really strong thing, which I think can help you in a lot of ways. But when it really cheapens that when they overuse it. Yeah.
What about you, Qays? I'm curious to know if you've been watching anything, because I know you've been hunkering down with some tests.
I've been watching Gintama actually.
Hey, you finally got into Gintama. Well done.
Yeah, I've got into Gintama. Have you watched any Gintama?
I just know it's an ordeal. It's a big thing to get into. So you have my admiration. One day I will join you on the lofty heights of Avalon, or Valhalla.
One thing is with like long anime, I've always loved my long anime. Like I'm up to date with One Piece. I've watched all of Naruto, Bleach, all that kind of stuff. The longer the better. I know you guys, I mean Pabs especially, you like your 12 episodes and less.
Yeah.
But for me, I think like long anime is like, it doesn't look daunting because I don't watch it with the intent of finishing it straight away. Like, especially with Gintama, I think it's a perfect example of this. Like, I actually started Gintama ages ago, probably a year ago or something like that. But I just pick it up again every so often and just watch a few more episodes here and there, and then just leave it be on hold and come back to it whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
And it just works well like that. It's kind of like The Simpsons in the best way I can describe it. It's like the characters are unaging, always there. Yeah. And they're always going to be doing something funny and odd, and you kind of know their personality quirks, and you just sit down for an episode, rediscover them, re-get to know them, and you know what you're going to get in some way. Some funny stuff.
Because I watched like a few years ago 25 episodes of Gintama. I don't remember absolutely nothing of those 25 episodes for two main reasons. The first one, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but I was kind of forced to watch it. I'm not gonna show it because it's really personal stuff, and I'll tell you guys later on.
Okay.
Another reason why it's the comedy in it is it's very Japanese comedy, and you have to like Japanese comedy to enjoy it as much as it should be enjoyable, but not my case.
Interesting. What is there a Japanese comedy about it?
The stupid like comedy they are having all the time. I don't know, the forced comedy. And like it's like isolated jokes they introduced during the episode.
Yeah.
I don't know, that type of comedy doesn't work for me.
So it's not. It's not the repeated jokes, but it's the isolated jokes that they introduce in the episode.
Yeah, but if I don't
And, like,
remember bad is like random jokes for the sake of doing random jokes most of the time,
Yeah.
or at least
Like
for
just seeing some character and say, "Oh, this character's name sounds like this," and then just putting like an animated version of that character looking like a certain way. Haha, that's funny.
yeah.
For no real reason.
Yeah, I don't like.
I kind of like it because it's kind of absurd, and I like absurd kind of.
Yeah.
humor, I guess.
The only absurd anime I ever watched, and because I watched it when I was a kid, it was Bobobo.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think Bobobo is kind of like a slightly more childish version of Gintama in a way.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. That's just the impression I get.
And recently I tried to watch it again because I think it's just 50 something episodes. Bobobo. I watched 5 minutes of the first episode. It's like, okay, I'm gonna keep this in my childhood. I don't want to rewatch it. By the way, the openings are bangers. It's the best openings you can find out there.
I have to check. It could Bobo is like the guy with an afro or something. Like,
Yes.
and a weird mustache or something.
Bobo.
He uses the hair of his nose to attack the enemies.
Oh.
Yeah.
His nose hair.
Oh, that is a good reaction for it.
Okay.
He's muscular, but he never uses his muscles to do anything.
Nose hair tentacles. I mean, that will creep anyone out. Like, it's gonna want to fight you.
And his afro apparently have houses inside because every time he does jokes about anything, his afro open in half like a ball, and shit happens inside his head.
This sounds absurd. I'm gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, another thing I've been doing between yesterday and today, thanks to Qays, it's Pokemon Showdown. And
I'm glad you like it.
Oh my god, I like it too much. That's the problem.
It's addictive. You're just like, one more game. Just one more game.
This morning, I was thinking, okay, I have to go for a walk. I'm gonna play one more. It passed half an hour. I play like 10, 15 more games. It's like, oh, okay, I should go now, I guess.
I mean, it's just because you log on and you don't have to do anything. You just kind of choose a name and you go in random battles.
Not even that,
And
because I
immediately
have
you
my
just
account
shoot.
already, so...
Yeah, you got your account in one day.
Yeah.
I'll
So...
give it a go myself at some point. I'd love to join you folks for a throwdown that no doubt I would lose over and over and over.
You can do a round robin. I'm definitely
Well,
down for a tournament.
Then we can fight against each other, and at least we will win 50-50. But against Qays, we are gonna lose.
We need to combine forces and face Qays both at once. So
Yeah.
he can have 6, we can have 12.
Handicap battle 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I mean, is it enough of a handicap?
All right.
but-
Qays.
but-
All right. You're good, man. Bro, you're that good.
Probably not dickhead, but at least we are trying. But yeah, I mean, you, as you say, you played before, so you have that advantage as well. And I never
True.
got into competitive, and I don't know most of the counters of types, as you could notice yesterday we were playing. I know the main ones, but when they get into a psych type,
Psychic.
dark type, and stuff like that, it's like I just don't know.
Yeah, and when it's got the dual types as well, like you can calculate it, but
Yeah, yeah.
Just forget them sometimes.
I remember playing the games proper, playing the proper games and playing them over and over and going, okay, I want a dual type in each slot, and I want them to all be different dual types so that I have the most coverage possible. And they need to be, I don't know, just yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad way of doing it, to be fair.
Oh, would you not recommend it? Well, I suppose maybe not in competitive, but for the sake of just playing the story through.
Oh no, that's pretty good. I mean, as long as you don't get like multiple kind of like weaknesses, like you get loads of earth weaknesses.
Yeah,
which can happen. But honestly, getting as many types as possible is not a bad idea.
I remember there was an NPC in Pokemon Colosseum, the GameCube game, which was very hard, honestly. Compared to the handheld games, it was quite hard. There was one particular player, NPC, whose entire team consisted of dual-type Pokemon, but the dual types that have no weaknesses, like Sableye, for exactly, yeah, those ones. And you're just sitting there going, why can't I beat you? Nothing works.
Content in Japanese.
When are you watching JoJo?
Yeah.
When I finish Bakano.
You watch the whole of Durarara every season and Bakano.
Bakano, I am in the episode 4. Well, half of it because I saw the timing like, oh shit, we need to record. But yeah,
do your prep work.
It's 16 episodes only, so it's way shorter than the first season of Durarara. So, and after 150 something episodes of JoJo.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't aim for long shows like Gintama. Like, I don't aim for finishing it necessarily. Like, I just aim for like enjoying as much as I want out of it. Anime is for enjoyment at the end.
Yeah,
of the day.
you're right.
Watch it for what you're gonna get. And I feel like the enjoyment you get from long shows is just so much more because you just remember so much. Like, I remember there's loads of 12 episode shows that I've watched which I can name the main characters and general themes and stuff, but I forget a lot of the specifics. And with because you keep getting drilled into like the main stuff from the long shows, you just remember it more. It just becomes more significant.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna disagree with you, but the way you put it that way, I was gonna go, yeah, no, I see that.
No, but I take that. I disagree with Qays. When the longer the thing is, the more I forget about it.
Yeah, I think you can forget the specifics of each episode, but the feelings of the main characters just compound.
Sorry, I watched Dragon Ball. I watched 200 episodes of One Piece, and I remember the main arcs of what happened in One Piece, and I remember the names because it's childhood animes, and I remember because reasons. But nowadays, the animes I have, for example, in my 3x3, I don't remember most of the characters on them, the names. I remember the character. I remember what that character did in the history, but I don't remember the name of the character. For me, it's not. Also, it's the way my brain works. For example, in Full Metal Alchemist, as I said, I remember it because Mustang is a not very Japanese name.
Yeah. But I feel like that's the way to do it. Like, remember the actual things that make the character, the things they do, the things that make you feel, all that themes and stuff. Yeah, that's the most important part.
So, anything you guys want to add? Or shall we finish here? Or?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything we could want to. Yeah, no, I think it's been a solid 2-hour run for Pabs' 3x3.
Yeah.
And this episode is gonna be 4 fucking hours.
Yeah, join us next episode when we discuss each other's 9x9s, 81 anime. It's taken us for our life so far.
It's gonna be one episode which is gonna last 1 week, 24 hours every day.
We will not stop recording for that whole time.
Oh, maybe for a charity one, we could actually do that at some point.
I mean, I'll definitely talk about anime for one whole week for charity.
I am
I'll go
crying.
get the,
I am crying
yeah.
already just thinking about it. But I mean,
I'll go get the buckets and plastic bottles I'll need to fill up over the course of time. We'll spend a week not moving from our recording chairs.
yeah, I have bottles to pee in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's more disgusting now I say it out loud than when I thought about it.
You see, what you do is you don't say it, Pabs. You direct towards it. You let people fill it in with their imaginations, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah, but I want to share my mental picture I got. Because I know I don't want to eat the seed by myself. I want to share the seed with everyone.
You're a sharing kind of guy. I get you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for listening to us and Qays, Ben, and me. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you like this podcast, and I will see you next time.